Is perfectionism controlling your life? And has it gone to the point where it's really causing a lot of suffering in just day to day activity, general living quality? And you're kind of at a point now where you're just wanting to figure out what's going on, how to change things, and so on and so forth. As someone who has been a perfectionist for quite some time, picked up a couple things along the way, and as I now coach people in self-sabotage and have seen the responses with the methods, I think it would be of great help to a lot of you. We want to first discern between healthy perfectionism and then unhealthy perfectionism. Because wanting things to be done well, done right, I mean, what's wrong with that? It's a good thing, especially nowadays with so many pieces of content and writing with AI as well. It just makes it a lot easier to just sort of just pump out material without much thought. Now, even me, as an example, I don't really edit my videos too much. I keep them simple just to really make the focus more about the material. But even then, it's important to make sure it's done well. However, I've noticed with myself and also coaching individuals, it starts to become a more of a deeper issue, a deeper wound. Once perfectionism starts to delay when you're supposed to complete something, procrastinate, that's a big one. You hold off what it is you're supposed to do. And there's this overwhelming experience of avoiding judgment, avoiding failure, and in some cases, avoiding success. Now, you might ask yourself sometimes, like, why would anyone want to avoid success? Because it makes sense why you would want to avoid failure, obviously. You don't want to look foolish to people around you. You don't want to let yourself down. You don't want to sort of affirm perhaps a narrative given to you as a child that you're not worthy, not good enough. But why would we fear success? We would fear success if we imagine that if we step into that role, then we are unfit to hold that kind of responsibility. We are imposters in that position. And if we had all eyes on us, then we would have this fear that people are going to see right through it. They're going to see I'm not actually good at what I'm doing. Maybe I got lucky. Maybe this was a fluke. And so this story happens beforehand. And that's when we don't really often notice it. It's quite unconscious. And we sabotage our progress. We delay it. Well, I'll get it done next week. It's still not good enough. It's not exactly right. We use that, internal feeling of, oh, you know what, it needs a couple more tweaks as a good mask to avoid this kind of pain. For me personally, fear of success wasn't the main issue. It was the fear of failure. I was deeply worried about what I would look like and putting myself out there at the risk of looking unqualified, not good enough. A lot of these times, we all know these are stories that live within us. It's not really true in reality. And even if it were, if you started off bad, you keep practicing, you'll get good eventually. But it is the deeper wound that we have to contend with, because that's really what's been sticking around all these years. If you had an upbringing that had this sort of idea that if you don't do well, that's very bad. It's a bad reflection on your part. Or if you've been pumped with the idea that you need coddling, you need help, well, that gives you this impression that maybe there's a reason why. Maybe you aren't capable of doing X, Y, and Z. And that by that I mean moving in a direction like a business, a career that you feel you want to do and experience in your life. No matter how many times I work with clients, these areas are very difficult to contend with, naturally, of course. And, we go through a process. I even have it in my free guide down below where we discuss how to actually investigate these parts of ourselves to unpack them. Because unless we unpack it, there really is no surface level method you can do that's actually going to change anything. And believe me, I've tried them. I've tried them for a number of years. And there isn't much out there in the realm of how to deal with self-sabotage. It's there, but it's not in detail. it's not ran through and has a process and all these things. And I also tilt more towards Carl Jung, Jungian psychology, with shadow work and complexes and archetypes. So I had to sort of formulate my own strategy. But having said that, there isn't much. But if we had to give a temporary form of relief, something we can do pretty much right away and begin to see some changes. If, let's say, you have a deadline, you have 2 months from now, you have to hand in this project, whether it's for work or just personal, you just have this project you want to work on and you're giving yourself a deadline. With all your might and all your strength, spirit, courage, you will adhere to that timeline no matter what. And of course, there's going to be turbulence, there's going to be emotional swings, very natural, but allow yourself to go through that process. Will you feel embarrassed? Will you feel frustrated, maybe shameful in some ways? Yes, you will. But again, most important is to contend with those emotions. Now, how you contend with them and the way you do it, of course, it needs a process. It's very hard to just do alone, which is why people seek out coaches for these types of things, because it's not just accountability. It's also having someone who has gone through that process, walk you through it, apply a custom fit to your background and your story, and everyone is different. So it's not as simple as just copy paste, and it's also very difficult to hold yourself accountable. But if you can do one thing tomorrow, pick a deadline, stick to it, no matter how you feel about it. You're just trying to adapt to that new environment and challenging that deeper narrative that's been gripping you for such a long time. And if you watch this whole thing and realize that you are a self-sabotager, you do get in your own way and interrupt yourself, and you're frustrated about it, I have a lot of material for you. You can, of course, watch my other videos, or you can download my free guide down below, and you'll also be a part of my newsletter. I send out newsletters every 2 weeks. Of course, no pressure. And for those that are also fully tired of it and you're just done, and you not only want accountability, but you want a process that took me years to develop because I was a sabotager and I had to find my own way to deal with it and fix it, but also having it fit within your temperament and your background and your personality and all those things. It's very important in order for the transformation to be as effective as possible. And you can actually read some of the reviews I have on my page on the people that I work with, and it's a night and day transformation. Thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you next week.